There you are, legislative branch. You had us really scared there for a minute, but didn't that feel good? To remember that you are a co-equal branch of government, and when you guys all stick together, you actually have just as much power as he does? I bet it did, because he's been stealing your french fries for a good long time, and it seems like you decided to stand up and say no. Mine, and I am here for it. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised at the way that things went yesterday, because we knew that there was going to be at least 100 people on the red side in the House that were going to vote for this discharge petition, but it turned out it was all one. Clay Higgins from Louisiana was the only sole holdout, and he said that it was just because he thought that there needed to be further protections for people and that it was going to basically cause a big mess. And then it went over to the Senate, and we thought that it was going to at least take a couple of days. There was going to be some sort of debate, that they were going to try to make some amendments, do things to soften the blow a little bit for the Joker administration, but no. Chuck Schumer came out and was like, I'm going to move for this to be a unanimous consent decision. And that basically means that the Senate has to unanimously decide to have this bill pass in its entirety. No amendments, no debates, nothing. And he went up there and the parliamentarian said, okay, anybody opposed? And it was silent. And just like that, this bill is all but signed into law because it still has to go to the desk of the president. And this was clearly not part of the plan. Little Mikey with the Big Secret was interviewed during the state dinner that was happening with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia last night, and he was rushed out of the room, and he was basically barraged by the reporters, and he was like, I'm very disappointed at this outcome. I told the president that there was going to be some amendments. There were supposed to be amendments, and Chuck Schumer just went rogue, and he went on and did this, and I wasn't anticipating it, and his face was like ah! I've seen that face before. That's what happens when a medical professional makes a med error or does something wrong. You know that you have fluffed up so bad and that you are cooked for this. Because the way that this legislation was constructed was very smart. It basically makes it so that they have to release the entirety of everything, even including sans redactions. Now, all of the redactions might still be there publicly, but to the House and Senate, they will be able to see the entirety of everything that's in there. Yes, Blame Blondie does have this active investigation, but it specifically says in the legislation that the things that you hold on to have to be basically specific to that investigation. So by saying that you're going to be investigating Bill Clinton, it basically means that the only things that you're not allowed to release are related to Bill Clinton. The irony. Because the redactions have to be narrow and time limited. So in the event that they mess around with this stuff, they will be effectively breaking the law. I mean, yeah, that's not new for them, but it will be very publicly breaking the law and obstructing justice. And I think that the House and the Senate have sent a very clear message that they don't intend on going down with that ship. There's some audio going around that's supposedly a leaked phone call that the Joker had over the weekend, screaming into the phone, I don't care about Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm not releasing it, we'll start a war, if I'm going down, I'm taking all of you with me. It's very intense, and there's some debate about whether or not it's AI, and it's indistinguishable to me. I have absolutely no idea, but it certainly sounds like something that he would say, and he really has had a very hoarse voice for the last few days, and when he was asked about it, he said, well, I've been yelling at people on the phone a lot about trade. This season finale is off the chain. And so maybe he made enough of those phone calls to enough people, and they said, oh, you're taking us down with you? You want to bet? Because tokens get spent, as I said the other day, and I think that the clock has run out on him. He is no longer politically advantageous to anybody, and the only reason why they have let him stay in there the entire time, not because they liked him, not because they thought he was smart, not because they even thought that he was good for the economy or the world, it was because he was their way to keep and maintain power, and that has gone away. Like that. And politicians were always going to act like politicians. The moment that you were no longer valuable to them, you were going to get spent, and now looks like that's what's happening. It's intense. Remember when I said I wanted peaches for my birthday on Friday? It looks like I just might get them, because even if the Joker decides that he's not going to sign this little law, and you know that he's going to try, Thomas Massey came out and said, you have 48 hours to sign this law, or I am going to go onto the floor of the House myself, and I'm going to read every single name on this client list. That's how you flex your power! I am at the edge of my seat. I am waiting with bated breath to see what happens today, and I'll probably even be making a second video. So no matter what happens today, I hope that you guys enjoy your e-day. Take care of yourselves. I hope you drink some coffee. Hope you eat a yummy snack, and as always, keep your eyes up to be fruit on the ground. See you next time. Ta-ta!